Hello and welcome to the Roundtable Podcast. I am Shogun. Today we have a very exciting episode where I will be interviewing my friend and fellow server owner Godless of Godless Debates. You can find a link to her server in the description of this video. And remember, you can find these videos, these podcasts on YouTube and on BitChute, as well as on our Roundtable Discord server. Just Google Roundtable Discord and you'll find us in all our different platforms. So that being said, welcome, Godless. Thank you for joining me today. How are you today, my friend?
Hi, and my YouTube and Discord server is going to be in the description.
Exactly right. We'll make sure to include a link. And if we're not partnered already, we can partner our servers as well.
So when you get upset by what's said during the interview, you can come fucking whine about it in my YouTube comments.
Sure.
Talking
I
to the
don't
listeners.
use YouTube really. I
No,
can't
I'm
comment.
talking to the people listening.
Yeah.
All right. So you said that you wanted to ask me a few questions before I began my interview of you. So feel free to
Oh
do
yeah,
so.
it's just out of curiosity. Are you an atheist?
No, I'm a theist. I was born and raised in the Christian church, and to be honest, there's never been a time in my life where I doubted the existence of God. I identify as a Christian, although many of my Christian friends would say I'm not really a Christian, but I do identify as one.
And how did you come to own such a successful Discord server? Most 90% of servers fail.
Well, there's a story behind when and why it was created. We've been very voice chat active since day one. Our growth has been extremely fast since day one. So we've been about 24/7 voice chat active since day one, and we've gone 3,300 members in the first year. We recorded 150 podcasts and uploaded them. We did 365 special events. If you want to know why it's been a success, it's because we produce a lot of original content. We have a very unique and special community, and there's just a sense of family vibe that people can't find elsewhere. Also, we defined our server as very clean, we hold ourselves to an extremely high standard because there's so many dumpster fires on Discord that we wanted to give people an alternative.
Okay, and then I just have one comment about our initial interaction. Oh, that wasn't you at all. That wasn't you at all. My initial interactions with almost everybody is hostile, and just so you know I came out on top and everything, but uh, I normally do a lot better than that. I just have like this ability to shred apart anything anybody's saying and make them look stupid. Uh, and I was very drunk during that discussion, so when I was sober minded, I would have done even better. I just wanted you to know that.
Oh, sure. And I
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
we should have people come in here and try another time. People come in here and try to not have a conversation with me and not look stupid, and they'll all fail. It'll be hilarious.
Sure. And I enjoyed that conversation. It was interesting. What I basically see it as, you're a server owner, I'm a server owner. We both have strong personalities. We're both intelligent. So when we ran into each other, it was just like an immediate headbutting contest because that's just kind of people that we are. But if you ever want to do a debate, we do formal debates here, et cetera, et cetera. But no, that was enjoyable, and I thought it was worthwhile.
Okay, you can ask me anything.
Okay. So my first question will be, when did you begin to identify as an atheist?
I was 19. It was for most atheists like it's a long process. Like they'll fucking ponder the problem of evil, and like flirt with deism for a while and shit. But I was never religious or anything. I just didn't put any thought into it. Well, like until I got into college, I didn't have any kind of critical thinking or anything. And it was actually really bizarre. I'm a college dropout, but I was sitting in philosophy 101 class, which was total garbage. I don't like remember barely getting anything valuable out of that, but it was just like a little mind opening, I guess, in the class. And then it was for the first time in my life, like seriously suggested to me that like, I knew what an atheist was, but I never thought about it. And it was seriously suggested to me that maybe no gods exist. And like I just instantly transformed there. Like I just realized I had no reason to believe it. So I like instantly went from moderate Christian to atheist. But I really hate my fellow atheists. So I think they're unjustly arrogant and very irrational. They think I used to be one of them. They think that they're winning against these Christians in debates, and they actually do really poorly, especially with presuppositional apologetics. They like don't even understand the argument, but they think they're winning. It's like really fucking bizarre.
Yeah, that's one thing I will agree with you on. I've debated Darth Dawkins, formal moderated debate, and many presuppositionalists, and I got to be honest, I have yet to see it as a valid approach. It doesn't logically check out, but that's another topic for the time being. We'll leave that aside. But
Yeah, but just because it doesn't check out, they don't know how to respond to it though. They're giving dumb responses.
yeah, I agree, and we can get into presuppositionalism maybe later. But I want to lay down some more groundwork. So when you became atheist or when you began identifying as atheist, how did that change your life? Like, how did that change how you saw your life and how you lived your life?
Well, not very much because I was only a very moderate Christian. You know, I didn't. Well, I mean, I had an aunt that used to Catholic aunt that used to preach hellfire to me. But other than that, I wasn't like I didn't have the fear of God in me at all. Actually, when I first deconverted, because of that aunt, I would have like panic attacks, fear of going to hell, when I was in my early 20s. But it didn't change my behavior really at all because I wasn't like trying to be moral for God, for Christianity or anything. I mean, I'm a thief, but I stole more as a Christian than I did as that I have as an atheist. But for a few years, I didn't really. I just concluded no God's existence and didn't care. And then, well, when I got my divorce, like I started watching atheist YouTube videos and reading the literature, and that's when I became obsessed with atheism. I was one of those like arrogant, militant, proselytizing. Darth Dawkins is a god, or Richard Dawkins is a god type atheist. Who now I think Richard Dawkins is a fucking clown. Like it's just crazy how those leaders of the atheist movement, I used to view them as gods, and now it's just like when I listen to them talk, it sounds so fucking stupid. My transformation is just insane.
Yeah, and my feeling is the same. I respect different people for their points of view, and I think I have a fairly good rhetorical and linguistic understanding of what is and isn't a valid argument. And as far as I can tell, the presuppositionalist argument is not valid. But maybe someday someone will convince me that it is. But before we go down that line, I want to ask you, at what point did you make your server, which is, I believe, called Godless Debates? Why did you make it? And what was the mission of that server?
Well, this is my second server. My first server was like a year and a half ago, and I'm from the I don't even in the Tom Unboxes community, but we went like all the way back to Google Hangouts. I've actually goes all the way back with some of these people, 10 years to Pal Talk, like Darth Dawkins. I've been stalking Darth Dawkins for 10 years. That he's what brought me to Hangouts and Discord as I chased him over. Um, but I had my this first server a year and a half ago. It was successful for like 6 months, but I was like a crazy drunken like there's videos of it fighting about mods, and so my community uh led a revolution against me and they went back to Tom's, which was fine. I like everything was great for months after that, but then Tom went crazy and he banned me. So I had to lead a revolution against his server, and right now we actually have that feud where both servers are active, but I'm banned still from his, and um, yeah.
Yeah, I understand the Discord drama, factions, whatever, all that nonsense. We both understand how that go. But I guess I want to ask then, what would you say are your moral values, right? Like, what is it that motivates you to even pursue any of these enterprises? Like, do you have a core belief or something you care about that makes you want to do this stuff? Or is it just kind of for the hell of it?
Oh well, when I first got into the atheist movement, yeah, I've been a real like piece of shit my whole life. But when I first got, ethically speaking, But when I first got into the atheist movement, um, it's weird how I was actually like wanted to be a good person. It was well intentioned. Uh, like I would fucking like go to these atheists like these align with these atheist organizations and like care about the politics, like care about dumb shit like uh we have to take the Freedom from Religion Foundation. It's unconstitutional when Christians put up a cross on government property. So, to make it fair for everyone, the government shouldn't recognize any religion or non-religion. So, like let's stand for that and like, oh yeah, religion is like the root of all evil. So let's fight against it. And that was my motive. That was like one of my big motives to fight against it. But then I just watched the atheist movement in only a few years totally regressed and turned to shit and stopped doing the things that I cared about and just was like taken over by feminists and shit. I don't know if you know any of the details about that, but it's like the atheist movement is just total garbage now.
So, before I forget, you did mention a few topics to me that we should cover, and those included something called the Welfare Queen video. And apparently, the Welfare Queen video is somewhat significant, but I don't know what that is. So, can you tell us what that is?
Sure. My friend Tom, my ex-friend Tom, who I'm having the server feud with, he was actually, I always credit him with this. It was inspired by him. He nagged me to make the video for a long time. Uh, so it was the best troll anybody's ever done. I'm the master troll of the world. So it was all planned out. I went to this food stamps. So oh yeah, so I didn't work for a decade. I would just sit on like mooch off my wealthy family and sue people and sit on Social Security. I was on Social Security for depression and I get food stamps. So I went to the store and I made the video for the sole purpose of pissing people off. And the plan the whole time was to try to make it go viral. So Tom did all the editing and stuff though. I went to the went to the store, recorded myself or had somebody record me buying lobster with my food stamps, taking it home, and while I'm cooking it, I'm like just fucking laughing about how like the cashier that rang me up, like she has to I'm just like talking all this shit. People thought I made it for like people that didn't know me thought I made it for political reasons where I don't give a fuck about politics. I'm totally apolitical, don't care about the welfare system, but I'm talking shit like, oh, that cashier, she she uh, she would have to like I'm using her tax money to buy lobster with my food stamps. Well, she can barely fucking afford to feed herself. She would have to work 2 hours for the cost of this lobster. And then I like pull out some Coach keychains, and I'm like, oh yeah, these keychains here they cost more than those minimum wage people's fucking car payments. And I said, actually, most of them don't even have fucking cars. They're using public transportation. I'm just talking shit about how I scam the government shit. And then I take the fucking lobster and I feed it to my dog. And then so it got picked up by all these people were so upset. It got picked up by all these right wing news sites. It was Milo Yiannopoulos and Steven Crowder, and it went viral, and it got millions of views on Facebook. And there's also like all these right wing news articles about it. Welfare queen feeds lobster to dog.
Fascinating. So, I want to make sure that I cover these topics.
Yeah, so I
Another,
trolled the world. I pissed off millions of people.
well, good for you. So, another one was harassing Muslims or fighting ghetto people.
Yeah, there's lots of videos of me like getting drunk and going in public and fighting black people and stuff. But then I used to for a while I totally changed my mind about it, but I was a crazy Islamophobe. I actually like kind of take the opposite position right now. But uh, I didn't even think of I transcended bigotry. I didn't even think of Muslims as people, and I thought they were gonna take over Europe and shit. I was insane, but so there's lots of videos. Well, some of them have been they're still like available on BitChute, but they've been taken off YouTube for the violation of the whatever fucking terms of service. There's a video of me harassing a Muslim family with a little girl at Starbucks There's a video of me taking bacon and at Walmart and putting it inside a Muslima's cart, pork bacon that she can't touch, and putting it in her cart. There's another video where this, actually the whole thing is, the series of events is all in a video. It's on Tom's channel. This Muslima bitch comes on Discord and she starts freaking out that I had harassed the family at Starbucks. And so we just happened to live in the same city, somebody pointed out. And so she challenged me to meet her at Starbucks. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna show up at Starbucks. And I showed up at Starbucks with the frozen bacon. And she chickened out the first time, but then the same night, like I told her, you were just humiliated, because I made the video of me at the Starbucks. I told her, you were just humiliated by a fucking kafir, bitch. What would Muhammad do? Do your jihad, bitch. And she snapped and she said that. Oh, she had threatened me with a gun too. I wasn't even afraid of the gun. But when she snapped, she said, that's it. I'm fucking coming this time. This is all on video. She said, that's it. I'm fucking coming this time. And so she came to me. She drove to me that time. And I met her up at a grocery store parking lot by my house. But then she wouldn't get out of her car and she drove away because she was scared. There's lots of, I won't go into all of them. There's multiple videos. There's of me like chasing Muslims around and shit in public.
Yeah. And when I came into Discord, I was primarily here to do dawah / apologetics, debating Islam. And since then, I was really hard in the paint against Islam, and I'm trying to chill on that a little bit. My position's a little more nuanced. There are definitely still lines.
That's interesting, because I was so fucking anti. Oh, sorry, I dropped the mic. I thought Islam was going to take over, right? So I wanted to deport all the Muslims from Europe, but I've actually realized how wrong I was and pretty much take the whole opposite position now and think that the West is the evil terrorists. But we could talk about that another time.
Well, so here's the thing. This is an interview podcast. We'll open it up to audience participation soon. Is there any particular message or, mission that you wanted to get out on this platform? I mean, you might be heard by about 1,000 people realistically. What do you want them to know?
Oh, I mean, well, I don't have anything else, I guess. I mean, there's lots of stuff about me, but if people want to ask questions, that's fine.
All right. Well, you're ready to open it
Oh,
up
maybe we could go. Well, yeah, actually, the Darth Dawg. Do these people? Sorry, I
Pardon
keep
me?
cutting out. Do these people know Darth Dawkins?
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone knows Darth Dawkins. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just go into my a brief summary of my history with Darth Dawkins. So 10 years ago on Pal Talk, I was a really dumb, stupid atheist. I hadn't even ever heard of the Kalam. And Darth, he separated me from the other atheists. He took me into a private room and debated me for hours. Totally humiliated me, took out like a bat and brutally beat me to a pulp. But then for 18 months after that, I didn't work, so I did nothing but like learn about philosophy and religion, like watch videos, read, and debate it on the internet. So I became way more advanced than him, and I started to question what he was saying. And I became friends with Jack Angstrike on Pal Talk. So then Darth and I just became 9 years ago. We became brutal enemies after we had been friends for a year. And about 6 years ago, I stalked him from Pal. Every time he would show up on Pal Talk, we had a Skype group where we had spies that would alert us. So we'd like immediately show up in the same Pal Talk room he was in and chase him out. Because Darth won't. He'll just add you to the troll list if he's afraid of you. He'll just add you to the troll list. So I would always chase him out, and then 6 years ago, he went over to Google Hangouts. So I left Pal Talk and stalked him over there.
Right.
4 years ago, sorry. 4 years ago, he came over to Pal for a Discord, and I stalked him over here. And 2 years ago, I don't know, maybe I should omit the doxing stuff, but I do talk to his son on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll leave personal details out of it. I have a long history with Darth myself. I used to be a administrator on a server that he was also a moderator on, and I've talked to him a lot of times. And I've done debates with him myself. But aside from that, I just want to ask one last question. Do you have like a message you want to get out? Do you have a purpose, a mission question, a specific thing you want to say, and then after that, we'll open it up to audience questions. So, in other words,
Yeah,
do you have like a message for the people who might hear this?
no, well, anybody who's like, I tend to get people when I talk, people get upset because they don't like how I'm brutally honest and stuff, whatever and I'm unethical, whatever, fucking. Although I think people have a really weird view of ethics, but uh, so to the people that are upset, I just want to say, calm down, and now we can do the Q&A.
Okay, so we're gonna open it up. Does anyone have any questions for Godless? Just reminder, podcast guests are guests, so respectful questions only.
Oh yeah,
I'll
and
open
just
up.
one last thing. If there's females in here, they tend to get very upset. They're very intimidated by me because I'm like prettier, smarter, and more entertaining than them. So I really clash very bad with other females.
Okay, but regardless of that, does anyone have a question for Godless?
Yeah, you caught my attention when you said you got viral on um Facebook, and I was just wondering if there's any advice for you to me on how to like do that myself for my own YouTube. I meant my own Facebook.
Well, see, I had a whole crew of people that were uh spamming the link to my video all over there. So the plan was to make it go viral. So I mean, we produced. It was great content. It was well edited and it brought out a lot of emotions in people. But it was so successful at going viral because I had a whole Discord server full of people that were spamming the link all over all social media, and then we were emailing it to these right-wing news sites. So that's hard to get a whole crew of people behind you. But I mean, I have owned a bunch of YouTube channels, and I noticed the most thing to get subscribers, the most important thing seems to be to regularly upload.
Oh, okay. Well, if I've been uploading recently to my YouTube, and I figured out I have a backlog of content. I don't know why I haven't done it already, but I'm gonna set it up to do it on a schedule. So yeah, if that's what I need to do, I'll set it up that way. So I don't have to do it all at once. Thank you. And anybody else have a question and want to take the floor?
And networking, like me. Do I call you Shogun?
No, I'm
No, I'm asking
good.
him.
Yeah, you can call me Shogun. Yes.
Yeah, networking with other people helps a lot. Like my debates with Tom Jump and my run-ins with Aaron Ra and stuff. It gets me a lot of views. So you network with other high-profile people.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
precisely why we wanted to have you as a guest on our podcast, right? Because I have my server, you have yours. It's a crossover. It's mutually beneficial. But that being said, does anyone else have a question or a comment for Godless?
Sure, I'll go and ask one. What do you think of secular Jews?
Um, Secular or atheist? I mean, I don't really have. I'm pretty apolitical. I don't really care much about politics anymore. So, I mean, secular. You pick a secular Jew, and it's like roll the dice whether they're going to be a Zionist or anti-Israel, right? So they're like really inconsistent about that. I mean, I do like I have friends that like they believe the Jewish conspiracy stuff. So I do think that you know a lot of Jews are the people controlling the world, like controlling the politics and the money. A huge percentage of them are views, like relative to their general population. But I don't think it's like some planned out Jewish conspiracy, right? It's just it's not that way because like Jews are conspiring behind closed doors to align with each other because they're Jews, right?
But
All
do you
right.
think secular Jews are more religious or less religious than your average just secular person?
Oh, well, I think a lot of Jews, a lot of when you say secular Jew, they can still uh believe in God and some of them don't believe in God. Like there's atheist Jews that are only Jewish by ethnicity, and then there's secular Jews that are just moderate Jews.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson, for that question. Does anyone else have another question they'd like to ask?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, do you regret making any of those videos?
No, but there was this one. There wasn't really a big video about it or anything, but it was the one action I do find disgusting with myself. I'm very rarely regret what I do or feel guilty about what I do. But there was this one incident where there's recordings of me talking about it, but it wasn't like I did it for a video or anything. I was just being a fucked up piece of shit. So this woman, I was in a bathroom, and this woman, she was really nice to me and everything, and she left her phone in the bathroom, right? And I took it. She didn't have a lock on it, and she was this really pretty girl. And I fucking took it, and I'm like laughing about it with my Discord friends the whole time I'm doing it. She had naked pictures she had sent to her boyfriend on there on her phone, and I sent it to every fucking contact on her phone. Her boss, her coworkers, her boyfriend's brother, who was then like hitting on her in text, and I was like reciprocating and then forwarding the messages to her boyfriend so he could see that his brother was betraying him. And then I posted her nudes to her Facebook account, and Facebook's warned if you do that again, it's a violation, stop doing it. And I posted them again, and she lost her fucking face. They deleted her Facebook account. I just like totally ruined this poor woman's life. Like she must have had to spend months afterwards, like just in constant fear she's gonna run into the next fucking acquaintance who got her news, and she has to like explain away, oh yeah, someone stole my phone. It wasn't really that I was like drunk and naked and on cam like I was saying in the text, and they probably didn't believe her. And it was really sad because she had a secondary minor Facebook account that I saw, like I would watch her. She'd try to get it like going again, but it was just, and then people would be commenting about the news and stuff, so she just like disappeared off Facebook, and maybe she killed herself. I don't know. So I do feel. So I dropped out. I do regret it too.
So I want to open it up. Is there anyone had a question, a comment, something they want to talk about with Godless while she's here with us today?
Yeah, I've got a question. Why, the book Crime and Punishment?
Oh yeah, actually, I heard Jordan Peterson talking about that book, right? And so I really wanted to read it. So I got it, and I ordered it off Amazon, and I accidentally, like halfway through the book, I realized I got this super abridged version. So it was leaving out all these crucial details. So I just ended up not reading it, but it's a really good story. I wish I want to read it again one day, the real version.
Wouldn't it suck if one day your whole mind changed just like how it did it in an entry-level philosophy class, to the point of having a realization that maybe all these things that you're doing might be bad?
Well, no, because see, in Crime and Punishment, so he had the nihilistic argument that, like, look, if I just kill this one woman, this one rich, miserable old woman, he doesn't believe in the afterlife or anything. I think he was an atheist, so it's not like she's just gonna die, right? She's just gonna cease to exist, and then she's causing all, like, she torments her sister, and I'm really poor and I need the money, and then I can save my sister from selling herself into marriage with this guy she doesn't love. And then he was in love with like this prostitute who was in poverty, who had to sell her body, and he's like, I'm just gonna go and kill her and steal her stuff. And so the reasoning that he used to get there, people get so irrational about this. The reasoning he used to get there, I think, all checks out. I fucking take that position. It doesn't matter, because in the book, it was just a series of coincidences.
Instead of addressing...
Sorry, I dropped out. It was only a series of coincidences that made the fact that he had killed her bad. It wasn't because it was wrong or something. It was because, like, what happened? the sister showed up while he was doing it, so he had to like hack away the sister too, and then like all these other things happened, but they didn't happen because it didn't turn out to be bad because what he did was like fucking immoral or something. I don't even know what it means to say that something is immoral if objective morality doesn't exist, because then it's just your opinion on whether, like, it's just that you don't like stuff, and your opinions can't be right or wrong. So moral propositions aren't even true or false. And we can fight about that right now if you want, bitch. I'll make you look fucking stupid. But yeah, in the book, it was just like a crazy series of coincidences that the author made up to make the guy regret it. It wasn't that the actual act was bad.
You know, what's kind of sad is you completely ignored the synopsis and instead decided to deregulate the conversation and point that I made into a different type of understanding, which is whatever.
You didn't
can
make
keep
a point.
doing
That's
that.
the question. You didn't make a point.
There was a point inside of the question.
What was the point?
That one day you're going to have to wake up and realize that you're going to have to live with all of your sins, buckaroo.
Okay, well, like I said,
Maybe that
right?
maybe that was an assumption contained in the question, but I don't see how you made that point. Like you didn't make some inference about it or something.
Yeah, you didn't really listen to what I said. You just took out
Oh,
what
I
you
thought
wanted
you
to.
asked me how am I gonna feel about if the same thing happens to me that happened in Crime and Punishment? Like would I come
That's
to
not
regret
what
it?
I said.
All right, well,
Well, I mean, if I could jump in here real quick, I think she did, answer your question to a certain degree, and I was following you along with what Godless was saying, but that kind of like victim morality, or where you can justify evil acts through all these other good acts. You can say the same thing. Essentially, any crime. You can say that Hitler didn't do anything wrong because he thought the Jews were ruining the world. Or the list goes on. So I think that's kind of a poor excuse to commit a crime just because you're just. You can go ask any person in jail. You'd be like, "Oh, why'd you kill that girl? Oh, my mama needed the money. Oh, why'd you rob that store? Oh, I had a drug problem." It's just this victim morality that kind of, yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
so
a
I'll
crime-
read.
Wait, now, let me respond to that. Now, a crime is just defined by what a country has arbitrarily made legal or not legal. So I don't think you want to use the word crime there, right? Because in some countries it's going to be a crime to not participate in the stoning of a baby, right? So you wouldn't want to say crime there. I think you want to back up on that. But what I said, and I can argue for, is that moral propositions are neither true or false. So you can't say that because of what you said, something about Jews, like because of the consequences of me saying this, then like this is gonna happen. Therefore, what I'm saying must be false. What the fuck? That you committed an error in reasoning, sir. That's just a fallacy, right? Appealing to the consequences. Moral propositions are neither true or false, no matter what the consequences of your actions are.
Anyways, so I'll reiterate the question so that you can understand what I'm saying. Basically, what I'm saying is just as you had your eyes open in some type of spiritual awakening in your entry-level philosophy class to understand whether or not you are or not an atheist, you might one day have a new realization just as fast as you had your first realization that will lead you to the same exact synopsis that is Crime and Punishment. To which is why I asked you if you've read Crime and Punishment. And then instead of answering the question, you decided to derail and move on to basically just laying out the whole book of Crime and Punishment instead of actually answering the question, which is whatever. I mean, you can pronounce words however loud you want to pronounce words, and other people might follow along into whatever type of shameful, moralistic victimization that you want to pronounce, but it just makes you look kind of weird.
All right. Well, listen, we're gonna try and keep this on a collegial vibe for this particular episode. So, does anyone have an additional question? We'll just move past that.
I won't address what he said if you could, but I could shred what he just said hard. But we'll move on.
And then after that, we'll field a new question after that.
Maybe we can have an after show where I get that guy.
He just said that you can answer it, so go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Can you repeat? I want to be sure I answer your question.
No, I'm okay. Thank you. Never mind.
Wait, why will you not repeat it? Just
I repeated it like 3 times.
Why won't you do it again?
Because you're not going to get it for the 4th time.
Well, just make me look stupid then if you repeat it for a fourth time and I don't get it. Just please.
I just said I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go back on my
Alright,
word
Yeah,
of
I
saying I'm
think
not
he's
going to do it.
scared.
we're gonna put
Do
a
it.
pin on that. We'll come back to that later, right?
No,
But for
fuck
now,
that.
let's
Fuck
ask
that.
if.
Repeat the question. He's
God
scared.
damn
He's
it,
scared because he knows
Godless.
I'll fucking shred it apart.
Okay,
Repeat
fine.
the question.
All right, okay. She wants to fight you now, so engage.
Did I make you mad?
No, sir. See, the thing is about me is everybody who known me for a while on Discord, I'm always screaming on Discord, but I'm seldom actually angry. Actually, when people meet up with me in real life on Discord, they see that I'm fucking smiling the whole time that I'm screaming at people.
Yeah,
It's almost
nah,
like
and listen, I can relate. I'm the same way. I get angry and then I let it go. It's not a big deal. However, for the
did
sake
you
of the
see him try to deflect
podcast,
though? He's tried to deflect like the volume of my voice. Why won't he just
it's
repeat the
fine.
question?
I'm just saying, for the sake of the podcast, it would be better to just ask if anyone else has a question, right? And then we can like continue onwards.
He's scared.
I have another
I have
question.
a question. Oh, sorry. Go
Okay,
ahead.
sorry, Doug's feet, and then whoever spoke next.
I was gonna ask. So, after harassing people and making their lives so much worse, I mean, have you learned anything from it, and are you currently trying to change in any way?
Well, I don't really have regrets about I mean, the Muslims, like, I gave them a bad day, you know, like that kind of shit just gives people a bad day. It's the woman with the phone who I think she might have committed suicide, so I feel guilty about that because it was it's so much more extreme relative to the other incidents.
Well,
So no, I don't really have regrets. No, I have very few regrets.
well, let me tell you this. So, I grew up Muslim for quite a big chunk of my life, and I experienced, you know, people like you who gave me bad days, and it drove me to the brink of suicide, being a teenager who is a Muslim in a very conservative Republican town. So to me, it's not just you giving them a bad day. You don't know what they're going through, and the fact that you don't feel sorry about it or regret it, like that's evil. I'm sorry.
What does evil mean?
Pardon?
What does evil mean?
Evil, like I consider it, well, sociopathic. I mean, to not feel any type of remorse or regret for people that you caused to have a bad day. I mean, it just seems very sociopathic, but
Okay, I accept that that's sociopathic. Thank you for your comment.
All right, so it's my turn. My question is regarding, I guess, epistemology. It's a complete change from like the moral argument stuff here. So, one of the things that kind of bugged me when I looked into it was the anthropic principle, which is put out as like the de facto reason for why there's something instead of nothing, just applying emergence to multiverse theory. When I realized that the multiverse theory it's based upon has no experimental science to back it up, and realizing that like theoretical physics and how much crap that was, really turned me off to a lot of the arguments that atheists were making. So I guess my question is, if you've had this issue where you don't like a lot of the atheist leaders, why do you still trust academic institutions to be honestly and accurately conveying science to you?
I don't. When it comes to physics, I don't. That bullshit about I think physicists are retards. I don't take them on. Look, I don't understand the empirical stuff, but I know on a conceptual level that they have no fucking idea. Lots of times they have no idea what they're talking about. So let's examine some of the fucking atheist physicists, right? We have Lawrence Krauss, who wrote a book called "The Universe Came from Nothing," but nothing is the absence of everything. And then he's like in the very first page of his book, he starts talking about how there was the quantum vacuum with particles, right? So it's not nothing. And if we can't go back before the Big Bang. And what would it even mean for there to be a before time? That's just gibberish, right? If we can't go back that far, then how can they be making these inferences about, oh yeah, these particles move in a certain way, therefore there was a quantum vacuum before the Big Bang, or therefore there's multiverses? They're just fucking pulling shit out of their ass. And then we have people like Lawrence Krauss or fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson, who will say some dumb shit like, oh yeah, we have no idea how likely life is to arise in the first place, but the universe is so vast that there must be other life out there. What the fuck? If you don't know how likely it was to arise in the first place, then maybe even with an infinite number of opportunities, it's fucking insane that it even arose at all, right? And then who's the other? Oh, there's always another physicist that I ran out. Lawrence Krauss, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and fuck, I can't think of the other one. There's some dumbass shit that another one of those atheist physicists said.
I mean, I guess I have a little follow up then. So why wouldn't you then describe yourself as like an agnostic or a deist then? I mean, I guess maybe not deist, but agnostic instead of an atheist.
Well, I just don't see. Well, I don't care about the cosmology. That's not. I'm not an atheist because of the cosmology. I'm agnostic about whether the universe had a beginning or not. Uh, I'm an atheist because I don't see any rational reason to believe in God.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess so. So you say, so what? I'm a bit confused because what you're saying is you don't really have a strong opinion about the origins of the universe, but you're certain about the lack of there being existence of a creator.
No, I'm
So-
not certain. No, I'm not certain at all. But see, unlike my fellow atheists, they'll try to be like, "Oh, well, see, atheism. I'm not an agnostic. I'm an atheist. But atheism just means it's the lack of belief in God. So I don't have to defend my position. Like the burden of proof is all on the Christian. That's fucking bullshit. I can give reasons for my atheism. So one thing is, a God creating the Big Bang, creating time, is just an incoherent concept because God can't. When did God exist? He existed before time. What the fuck? Before is temporal. So I don't even understand. When somebody asks me, actually, I don't even understand the question. When somebody asks me, do I believe that there was a before time, that there was a temporal thing before time? I'm sorry. It's just incoherent gibberish. I don't even understand the question.
All right. I mean, I guess I could explain it a little bit more clearly if you want to go down that route, but I don't want to like make this into like a longer form discussion if other people have questions. So I don't want to like monopolize the time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So that being said, is there anyone else who hasn't had a chance yet who wants to ask a question?
Yeah. What do you think about NAFTA and the globalization of the trade agreements that tie into things like the Paris Climate Accord and other geopolitical interests?
Oh, I used to follow politics very closely, and then I totally stopped. I have no idea what you asked me at all just now. I'm not even familiar with what you're asking.
Do you? Well, I guess. Do you think there are globalist and internationalist ideas out there that are retrofitting most countries to do their bidding?
What's a globalist?
Globalization, internationalism.
What is globalization? I don't know what that is.
Again, you have national politics that focuses on the nation state, right? You focus on Canada or America, but globalism or internationalism is trying to build a transnational governance system, right? So you're trying to create a global governance system as opposed to just the nation state.
I have no idea. I don't have.
That's all right. Thank you.
What do you think of UFOs and aliens?
Oh, I mean, I'm totally agnostic about whether there's aliens or not, but I don't think that they ever visited Earth. Actually, unless they're going to go faster than the speed of time, I think they would have to. Wouldn't I heard this once? This is one of those things that you can't believe when the cosmologists tell you. They would have to have departed before the Earth existed to get here, unless they were going faster than the speed of light or some bullshit. But yeah, so I don't like all the aliens visiting Earth is like a cultural bound belief, and it's a very recent one. So I don't think that there's any reason to take any of that testimony to be true. I don't believe that there's been aliens visiting the Earth.
Oh, so you don't believe in like the aliens are here and the alien abduction stories?
No.
What is your thoughts on polytheism?
How come there's no polydeists? There's,
You're talking to one right now.
a polydeist or a polytheist?
Theist.
Oh, yeah, I was asking why there's no polydeists. Because it seems like your position would be a lot harder to defend than polydeism. I've never met a polydeist. I mean, I think I don't understand why they believe it. Just like I don't understand somebody who believes in monotheism.
So, Godless, this interview was decided to be an interview, non-confrontational, and all our debates are respectful and friendly. But I am a theist, right? So if you were ever interested in doing a formal moderated debate on theism versus anti-theism or atheism, we usually do 3 5-minute rounds or 5 5-minute rounds. There's a moderator, there's no interruptions, you get the same amount of time. I don't know if you'd be interested in that or not, but it's an invitation.
I was actually on modern day debates on a panel against two atheists arguing against anti-theism because I don't just because I'm an atheist doesn't mean I'm anti-theist.
Yeah, or a topic of your choice, but that might be fun.
Well, I don't want to debate you because I just want to network with you now. Give me someone else.
Sure. Okay, well, that's fine. So that being said, well, one more time, is there anyone who has a question or a comment they want to make?
Sure. So Godless, this is a conspiracy server more broadly. So I'm wondering what conspiracy theories you believe in, such as any ranging from flat Earth to QAnon, and all the conspiracy theories in general.
I wouldn't say I didn't know this is a conspiracy theory server. I wouldn't say I'm a conspiracy theorist about anything, although I did go into the Flat Earth Discord recently and they were asking me some questions I went in there to troll, but then they started asking me some questions that really stopped me in my tracks. And I do plan to I don't believe the earth is flat or anything. I did call myself a globe skeptic for a few days though because of they were just begging me to investigate it more, and that's on my list of things to do. Because they pointed out, they said, "Godless, look, I went in there to troll, so I was pretending to be a globe skeptic before I was, and then they said, Godless, please, we don't want you to believe anything anybody tells you just because they tell it to you. We can give you experiments to conduct in your own back. Of course, I don't think the Earth is flat, but they said they pleaded with me, we can give you experiments you can do in your own backyard. Because and then I realized, look, yeah, the only reason I believe that the earth is round is because of other people's testimony, right? I've never done any of these experiments myself. So that's on my list of things to do.
Well, this has been a really great interview. I appreciate your time. I'm going to put it one more time to the audience, and then I want to give Godless the chance to make a closing statement or give some kind of message. And in the future, if you ever want to do another podcast, I'm always available. So one more time to the audience. Does anyone have a question for Godless?
I had a question.
Go ahead, Lady Jade.
I wanted to know how how
I'm prettier than you.
That doesn't bother me, honestly. I wanted to know
calm down, lady. Just ask your question.
Jesus Christ. I wanted to know how chasing Muslims has affected your life, but I think you already answered that.
It got me a lot of YouTube views.
So
all right.
You don't feel like you're a sociopath?
Well, we won't get into that.
I said the other lady said that that's sociopathic, and I said I already accept that charge. Yeah. So what?
Okay. So we'll move past that. So, Godless, I enjoyed this conversation very much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and be on our podcast. You can do it again anytime. And that being said, do you have a closing statement for the 100 to 1,000 people who might hear this podcast?
No, well, aside from the sociopathy, I have a variety of mental health disorders, including ADHD. So no, I don't actually. I really want to go. I have like really bad ADD right now, so I'm gonna go.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. And thanks everybody for joining us for the live audience. This will be on YouTube and also on BitChute. And you can find us on the Roundtable Discord server, where we also host all this content and many other platforms. And Godless, if you ever want to do another podcast, you just let me know. Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody.
Who do I send my social media links to right now to put in the description?
You can send it to me. That would be the easiest thing.
Oh, okay. I already just sent it to you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Godless. God bless.